Hi, everybody. It's Thea. Um, I'm here with an intuition update today. Um, and what I want to talk about a little bit today is about how intuition and our emotions can work together. One of the ways they can work together. I said a little bit about this in a recent Facebook post, but I was prompted by some experiences I was having in the last couple weeks to talk about it in more depth. So, in my experience, one of the functions of inner listening is that we get called sometimes to become more aware of emotions. We might typically think that intuition is a guidance system that helps us make decisions in our lives, and that can be true. But I think intuition's function is much deeper than that. One of the things that happens when we turn inward and really listen to our own signals is we also get prompted to do inner work. We get prompted to show up for our feelings, to unearth things that want to come to the surface and be released. Um, and this can be a little bit painful. We have a tendency to want to push down our emotions. They can be inconvenient. Sometimes we don't even understand what we're feeling. This has been my experience recently, is that I had a lot of feelings kind of coming up that I didn't understand, and they were not comfortable, and I didn't have a context for them. And so I found myself, even though I was somewhat aware that this was happening, I found myself avoiding them or sort of dismissing them because I really didn't understand what they were about. And I had a lot of things to do and things to attend to. And what I found over time, this is just recently, this has happened to me many times, but I was reminded of it by this recent experience. I noticed, first of all, I got some physical symptoms. I got a little sick, a chest cold, which is associated with, as many of you know, the lungs are associated with grief. So that was a bit of a signal for me. The next thing that happened is, even as I was getting better from my cold, I started to feel extremely tired. Now, this is not just because I was sick. I could feel that in the fatigue, well, there was more to be known about that. I also had a disturbing dream around this time, which can be a signal that there's something there to look at. So I spent some time just kind of being open. For me, it works to write in my journal to see what it is that might be there that I'm not paying attention to. And lo and behold, there was a whole lot of emotion. It doesn't matter what. Um, and it wasn't exactly easy to understand, but the emotion was very clear. And I was able to really let it come to the surface, release it. For me, tears can be really important as a way of releasing emotion. And lo and behold, I felt much better afterward. I had more energy. My cold symptoms started to um, lessen. And more than any of that, I felt a peace returning that I hadn't felt in a little bit. Um, and why am I bringing this all up and sharing such personal stuff with you? I think it's because it gets to a deeper truth, at least in my experience, about the way intuition works and the way surrender works, is that we're not just called to do certain things. I think we're also called to feel certain things, to become aware of certain things. That um, growth is really the goal. Soul growth is really the goal of human life. That's what my guides tell me. Um, and in order to embody more and more of who we are, more and more of our spiritual selves, we need to continually clear out the emotional residue stuff that comes up as we live a human life. This can be a lot of work, and we don't always want to do it. And our culture doesn't necessarily support it particularly. We tend to think we need to get over it and press on. And we also think that if we're going to, feel our feelings, we should at least know what they're about. We should at least have a reason. whether you identify as an empath or not, whether you're a highly emotional person, you know, you may have a different experience. I'm just sharing what I know from my own experience. But what I know is true is that the inner journey, the coming to center in ourselves, which can be a continual process or like a spiral staircase, that's really what all of this is about. That the guides say over and over again that, you know, external accomplishments are nice and material things are nice. Having pleasant experiences is great. But what we're really all about as beings is coming home to ourselves. And that coming home to ourselves means we show up for what's there and we are led continually on a journey of alignment. You might say purification, although that word could be a little loaded, but um, you know, continually clearing out what is nothing wrong with human emotions, right? They're part of who we are. They're part of how we experience our lives, but they're not the deepest part of who we are. And so we move through them, we feel them, and we go deeper into that sense of centeredness. Um, and so um, the mind may resist this. The mind may want to understand what's going on. The mind may want to get out there and do and push past what's coming up. And I'm not in any way saying not to act. Um, we need to act when, you know, when it's called for. But when you're getting signals, whether it's emotional signals, physical signals, that there are feelings to be acknowledged, and they don't always have to be understood, but acknowledged, made room for. I guess I just want to encourage you to honor that and to trust that that too is part of the inner journey, no less important than, let's say, having an aha about the next step in our outward journey. Um, and so the trust, the surrender, and the self-love to really hold ourselves in a space of compassion as we open up to feelings that we may not want to have. That all of that is an important part of inner listening. So that's my message for you today. Thanks for listening and watching. And I don't know where you're watching this. You might be watching this on my YouTube channel or in my Facebook group, but you can find me at my website, bigpictureguidance.com. Also, theasullivan.com, my other domain name, is where that website is going to be relocated to soon. You can find me on Facebook in my group, The Intuitive Way with Thea and the Guides, or on my business page, Big Picture Guidance with Thea Sullivan. And that's also the name of my YouTube channel. Okay. Oh, and you can follow me on Instagram too, Big Picture Guidance. All right. Thanks for watching. Much love. Bye-bye.